Once I have the garland sort of shaped, then I will take my little witch's hats here. I've recently started switching from coffee to matcha. Hello, and welcome back to the vlog. Happy October. My dad just left after a long weekend of miscellaneous projects. We fixed doors, we put a door on my closet, we cut wood, we moved stones to the garden, just all kinds of little tasks that needed to be done, and it was a huge help to have another set of hands to get some of those miscellaneous things done. We also started another project, which I know is crazy because we still have plenty of work to do in the office, but I'm going to save that footage and I will try to put together sort of a one video compilation of the phase 1 project that we started. So stay tuned for that. It's very exciting. But I'm going to keep you in the dark for a little bit longer. As you can see, I've started decorating for Halloween. So over the last few weeks I've been doing a few things inside, but now that it's officially October, I thought we could bring the decor outside. And as you saw this morning, I started collecting vines to use as like a spooky kind of garland archway type decoration. A friend of mine sent me this photo she found on Pinterest a few weeks ago, and I loved it and saved it ever since. It was this gorgeous grapevine-y garland kind of draped around an entrance with witch hats and little pumpkins and lanterns and things like that, and I just loved it. I've got vines, so I figured why not give it a go. The vines have a mind of their own, so I'm going to do my best to kind of shape them into this like arch shape, but some of them might be kind of sticking out in odd directions, and I kind of like that. It looks a little bit wild. Once I have the garland sort of shaped, then I will take my little witch's hats here, oops, and I'll thread some fishing line through the tops and hang them at different heights. That way we'll kind of have this little like spooky decorative entrance. We'll see how it looks once those things are all hanging, and then I will probably have to go get some pumpkins or, I don't know, a hay bale or something to kind of like fill out the base. But I think it's gonna look really cool, so let's see what we can do. I'm not sure how well you can see this on the camera with the shadows, but I think we did all right. Adding that extra section of garland really helped fill it out a bit. It's not as striking in the light. It's actually really nice when I turn the lamppost on here at night because it creates a lot of funky shadows. I think I'm gonna adjust some of the witches' hats so it feels a little more random, this side just feels like a perfect like gradual change, so I want to like make it more random. And then like I said, I think I need something down here to kind of like fill in this base, but overall I'm pretty happy with how this came out. You guys will have to let me know what you think. In the inspiration photo they had like moss and things kind of like draped over some of the bits and pieces of the vines, so if I can find something that's not like plastic I will fill in a bit. And then I also have some extra spider web material that I might drape over these little like Christmas trees I have here. Not a ton. I don't want it to like blow away or, you know, have birds or anything get caught in it, but it could just be a fun way to like make those trees look a little more spooky. This morning I took a walk out with the dogs to the garden and I picked some tomatillos and some cherry tomatoes. We have tons of them. A lot of the tomatillos are just on the verge of being ripe, so I only picked a few. I'm hoping we'll have some time to make salsa verde this weekend or next week, and tonight I'm going to make spaghetti and meatballs and try to jam pack it with tomatoes because we have so many tomatoes that need to be used up. I also need to make a batch of tomato sauce, so that's on the list for this weekend and next week. Lots to do, just lots to do. I made my matcha this morning. I've recently started switching from coffee to matcha because I learned from a coworker that the caffeine binds to catechins in matcha. So it slows the absorption of caffeine in your body and it doesn't give you those spikes you often get when you're drinking coffee where you're like super high energy, you know, mid-morning, and then as you get into the afternoon you kind of start dragging. So far so good. I have only started doing this over the last 2 weeks or so. I definitely don't feel as like sleepy in the afternoons. We've just been using the organic matcha from Costco. I forget the brand name, but it's been fine. I have heard that, you know, matcha ranges in quality, and the Peak brand, Pique, has been recommended to me by a few people. So once we finish that bag up, I think I'm going to give that a go just to, you know, see if it makes a difference, see if we like it better, and yeah, just try something different. So we do add honey to ours just to sweeten it a little bit, and when my dad was here, he brought us some honey from his bees. He just started beekeeping over the last year or so, and he had his first harvest this summer, so it was really exciting to try that. And it's already half gone, so I think we need to order in bulk in the future. I'm done rambling for now. I'm going to get to work for a while. This afternoon we will get back to the office and I will give you a few updates in there. We are back in the office, and I'm going to give you a little update on what I'm working on and where I've landed on some decisions. So first up is the wallpaper. I really like the idea of installing wallpaper, but wallpaper is semi-permanent, and if I want to move anything around on the walls, anytime I put a nail in or move a light fixture or move an outlet, that's going to create a hole in the wallpaper. So before I go ahead and purchase what I need and install that, I want to be 100% sure that I'm not moving anything. Once all of that stuff is set, then I can order the wallpaper that I like and install it without worrying about having to like patch in little pieces here and there. I also talked to a friend about installing wallpaper in a number of different ways. One of them being in like framed like box panels instead of full walls. So I think painting the walls just one solid color, I'll probably stick with white, and leaving them for a while I kind of get comfortable in the room and decide where I'm going to put things and, you know, what I want to hang on the walls. That will kind of help me determine which pattern I like best. I like a lot of different styles and vibes, and that's the hardest thing for me to settle on when it comes to wallpaper, but this will give me time to think on it and give me a better feel for the space and the direction I want to go. After going back and forth a little bit, I have decided that I'm going to paint all of the doors and trim the same color as the built-ins. All of the trim in our house was painted with an oil-based enamel paint, so you can't just paint over that with a latex. It will just scratch right off. So the first thing I need to do is scuff sand all of the trim, and then I need to prime it with a bonding primer that will allow me to paint over that with latex paint. So I've got a few steps I need to do before we actually get to applying color, but it's important to prep it properly so that we don't have poor paint quality later on. I did try to get that done last week, but I got lazy. I painted with the wrong primer and it just scraped right off. So lesson learned, I have to do it the right way. So that's it for the doors, walls, and trim. I still need to install the crown molding on the top edge of the built-ins here. I did get a few pieces of crown when my dad was here, but I'm not 100% sold on the particular shape of it. Your options are limited when you go to a store like Home Depot or Lowe's, so I'm gonna think on it, look up a few photos of the styles that I like, and then decide if I want to keep what I got or go with something that's a little more true to the style of our home. We have quite a mix of trim in our house, so I'm not too worried about being very authentic, but some of the trim styles for Greek revivals are a little more simple, and I kind of like that. So it might be a win-win if I just pick something that would traditionally be found in a home like this. Lastly, I still need to build the door and drawer fronts and install the drawer slides. The door and drawer fronts should be pretty straightforward, but since I've already started sanding all the trim, I kind of want to get that part done, and then we'll circle back to the doors and drawers. I'm at that point in the project where I'm not feeling as motivated because I just want it to be done, and there are so many steps to do, just so many little steps, and I'm only able to chip away at it a few hours a day, sometimes not at all, so it's really, really slow, but I don't have a choice, so I need to buck up and shake off that drag and just keep moving. All that said, I am just procrastinating standing here talking to the camera, so it's time to get to work. Jamie. Can you see me? Good girl. Okay, so I finished sanding all of the trim, and then I used the tack cloth to get any of the dust off. And then I just primed this side of the room, so I did this doorway all the way up to here. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have time to finish this doorway, the window, and the baseboards around here. The window is definitely going to be the trickiest part because there are all these layers and I want to be careful so I don't paint the window shut, but we'll just take that nice and slow. So good progress, still lots to do, but little by little we'll get there. I'm so excited to see this color spilled onto the trim here. I honestly don't know how I get so messy with such a simple task. Like, somehow I get paint everywhere. It's in my hair, it's all over my hands, it's all over my clothes. I'm a mess. So I'm gonna go change and then I'm gonna make some meatballs for dinner. I got ground beef out yesterday and I need to use that up. So we will make some spaghetti and meatballs. I will throw a bunch of tomatoes in there because I need to use them up, and throw on, like, I don't know, a fall or Halloween movie. I'll let you know what I pick. I'm not sure yet. Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire on Disney+. I started watching this the other day, but I wasn't really paying attention, so I'm going to start it over from the beginning, and we'll watch that while we cook. Happy weekend. It is Saturday and I am getting ready to actually head to Boston with a friend. But before I do, I wanted to show you where I left off in the office. Not thrilling, but I've made progress. And then I will tell you what I'm up to this afternoon. I finished priming all of the trim, the window, and this lower baseboard. So everything is now ready to apply this green color to it. Thankfully, this primer that I used, it's like a bonding primer, that ended up working better than the last one. So, well, that's covered in paint. It's the Behr brand multi-surface stain blocking primer and sealer. This you can get at Home Depot. I'm sure there are other similar bonding primers, but this one I had used for Matt's office upstairs, so I knew it worked really well. Basically, you'll know it's adhering if you like take your fingernail and you try to scratch and it doesn't come off. So I think scuff sanding the surface before I actually primed it this time helped hugely. I also had a little trouble with the window because I wanted to paint as much of this green as possible, but this here where the window slides up and down, this vinyl piece, if I paint it, it actually causes problems with the window opening. So I'm going to have to leave like this section white, but the rest of this and the window itself, I can paint the green. So I think that'll look just fine. Obviously, I don't want to impact the functionality of the window, so we're kind of limited in what we can do. I also started priming over some of these swatches I tested and areas where I had overspray from when I sprayed the desk. So I'll have to do that a couple of times before I just paint the walls. I think for now, until I actually decide on wallpaper, I'm just gonna paint all of the walls some shade of white. I will also do the same for the ceiling, and I need to prime all of that overspray before I actually paint. But that will just give me time to kind of think on it and figure out which pattern of these two or some other samples I like best. So that's it for this week in the office. Now that everything is primed, next week I can paint all of the trim. If I have time, I will also sand down the doors next week and get those painted. I'm probably gonna bring them outside because it'll just make the cleanup much easier. And then from there, we will have to paint the walls, but I'm not sure I'll have time to do that next week, and I still need to decide on the perfect white. Before we wrap the vlog up this week, I'm headed to Boston with my friend Lisa. For her birthday this year, I bought her tickets to the Harry Potter experience. So it's basically just like an exhibition in Boston at Cambridge side. They bring in parts of the sets and costumes and put them on display. We're both big Harry Potter nerds, so very excited to check this out. Since we're going into the city, we figured we'd make a day of it. So I will bring you along with us and show you a few clips of the day. Good morning again, back from Boston. Harry Potter exhibition was awesome. Had so much fun. Really cool to see all the different age groups there, from young kids to grandparents and everyone in between. It was such a wide range, and I just love to see it. It's such a relatable story. So many people find joy in it, and it was busy, let me tell you. It was busy. So quick recap. We ended up getting the audio experience as well. So as we watched through the experience, we got to listen to little bits and pieces in each room, which was really nice. They had rooms set up on like themes. So they had like a Great Hall room, a divination room, herbology room, and they had a little digital experience in each of them. They were pretty basic to keep moving people through, but still fun nonetheless. Lots of photo opportunities, lots of costumes, lots of just really cool sets and decorations. So highly recommend if you are a Harry Potter person, if you know a Harry Potter lover. It's a really fun thing to do. Obviously we went to the one in Boston, but I do believe it's in other cities as well. So if you're not in the Boston area, check it out, see if there's one near you. We actually spent like 3 hours there because we had the audio experience, so that took a little bit of time, but totally worth it. Like, we were in no rush, and it wasn't so packed that you couldn't like kind of find a little corner to stand and listen to your fun facts while you worked your way through the rooms. After we finished that, we ended up taking the tea to Chinatown to go to Shabu Zen for hot pot, which is delicious. And then we took the train over to the north end to go to Cafe Vittoria for cappuccinos and dessert. And we stopped at Bova's on the way home to get desserts to bring back to the boys. So all in all, great day in the city, and I'm glad we got to go down there. I'm gonna wrap the vlog up here. Thank you so much for watching this week. I hope you liked it. I know we're going slow in the office, but that's all I got time for, so we'll get there. We're getting there. It's got to be done before Christmas because I have a lot of decorating to do, so I am a woman on a mission, and we're gonna get through it. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future updates, and we will catch up again next week.